The great stalemate. The great stalemate within that situation that I needed to tell them about. The stalemate they just could not see or could not fathom, or simply did not accept despite its visibility, or said it wasn't visible enough, was a statement made up of strange suspicions and actions emanating from there or elsewhere. But having suspected that she was going to leave him, was going to eventually leave, although why would a girl do that? Or how could a girl do that? And if he had a time for her leaving in mind, for girls ran out of time. Something even she forgot, living in that stalemate, living the suspect's life, being quizzed on daily things, being quizzed on basic things, as though to find out where it all was going. You see, living a life where all doings seem to be doings inside the props of a set that one day had to be taken down, where all living was living on a stage within the script of it, being written very funnily for having said that his baby would be very fat, fat indeed, fat and healthy. He receded into total distance, not just distance but withdrawal, into a coldness of not doing anything for the relationship. After making a mockery of doing anything even physical, that had to do with love or love making. At every single moment where it could have been possible that this was the result of a one-time denial, was a reaction out of proportion for comprehension. There had to be another conspiracy behind it, and that I had to somehow break. The perpetuating stalemate within all the praises just coming for him was an inhuman task. And the second poem is titled In Jackson, Mississippi. In Jackson, Mississippi. This is about what happened in Jackson, Mississippi. Although I have never been there, never been to Jackson, Mississippi, and this is not about the flood that was talked about in class, got cited some time back. This is not about the floods in my parts of the world or someplace else. This is not even about any river overflowing. It's not about the Mississippi breaking its banks. It's not even about that noble dream of cruising on the Mississippi. It's just about the name of the river and what happened in the town of Jackson. Something of that soul-searching journey of going backwards of her own began in her old car driving along the banks of the river, and so she could halt somewhat, hold, pause, restrain. Check the speed of the maddening push towards the past, strange, unfamiliar linen, being pulled out of it along with socks being stolen. And as she pushed her shoes, her feet against the brake, she realized how strong was the current propelling her to fight tooth and nail with the man she dearly loved. Once upon a time, how strong was the urge to label her abandoned, deserted. But in Jackson, Mississippi, more soul-searching than this was to be done. There was going to be more truth in Jackson, Mississippi, more reconciliation, as a famous word silently stated. More powerful people were going to be called upon in Jackson, Mississippi, to tell the truth for once and all that they had arranged for him to leave her. Defenseless, powerless, all of this was going to be agreed upon in Jackson, Mississippi. Because Jackson, Mississippi was so far away from all their travel plans and so close to her thoughts, a town made up of the written words from some famous books and river mist, and a river so big and wide it could swallow all her stories, every single word she had to say to him, was going to say to him about all the people he had brought in between. For Jackson, Mississippi was going to be about the obedience call of strange gun-wielding people who had made her days miserable with news of bloodshed. Jackson, Mississippi was going to be about clearing it all up if only that day had not happened, along the banks of this other river where they lived and saw the view across the border, as if for the first time every day. And now only saw a lot of gun flashing by people from there, and in the middle of it had left and had found no way back. Jackson, Mississippi was going to be about the finding of ways, the clearing of paths, even if that meant the clearing of forests. Thank you so much.